Hey guys, it's Jermain. Welcome back to another episode of It's Not That Deep. What are y'all mad about today? Me? All of y'all citizens of the world who won't let the summer solstice fully carry itself out before y'all are pulling out Ugg boots and pumpkin spice lattes. Like, please, I promise you, it's going to get cold. It's going to get cold. We're going to go through cold weather. The leaves are going to fall. The pumpkins are going to harvest, so on and so forth. Please, can we just get a couple more weeks, just a few more weeks? Calm down, and you know who I'm talking to. Anyways, did you do some self-care this week? I'm proud of you, or I'm shaking my head, whichever applies. I did some self-care this week. Actually, I did a big reset. I went roller skating. That was self-care. I've been wanting to get back on some blades for like, I don't know, 10 years. But I just kept coming up with excuses like, A, have you seen the price of rollerblades? A small fortune, I might add. And then, like, I'm getting up there. Knees are fragile. I've started having to put on knee braces at the gym. That's how fragile they're getting. I can't be out here all on the ground. You realize how much of a procedure it is for a 6'2", 200 something pound man to fall and then rise again? And then it's just like the gumption to just like, I don't know, it'll go for it. So I had the perfect opportunity because it was my goddaughter's birthday party, and then we were at skating, and I wasn't just not about to put on some skates, so I put them on, and um, I had to put on those size 14s. I stumbled a bit. I looked up a quick TikTok tutorial, and then I put one foot in front of the other, and then before I know it, I like had a rhythm going. I had speed. You know, I started off in the middle where it's safe, but by the end, psh, I'm doing full laps with the rest of the skaters. Jealous because I can't do all the tricks that they're doing and like do like the little shoulder movements and like find like some true like slow rhythm with it. I had to like go like a speed demon or I was just gonna fall. But I was doing full laps with the rest of the skaters, swerving, falling soldiers, and just quickly diverting collision, one AirPod in my ear because the music was trash. And I may have been sore for the next week from the waist down, but that was a great feeling. Now I'm going to buy those rollerblades against Jazira's better judgment. I still kind of got it. Kind of got it. But anyways, I called that self-care because I was pretty full inside afterwards. I really felt accomplished and like I was doing something. But today, I want to talk about peace, right? That's what's on my mind. And about peace, it's not some prize that you're awarded. It's not some stable platform that you reach. It's not a mountain summit. It's a cold war with casualties. Protecting my peace isn't always peaceful, right? So let's talk about how protecting my peace became the most performative phrase on the internet. I've said it. You've said it. We've all said it, right? But the truth is, sometimes that's just code for I'm avoiding this shit before it unravels me. And honestly, that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes you need a hard block. We talked about it with resilience. Sometimes you need a nope. Sometimes you need a come back later when my anger settles. But the problem is this: people love to show peace, but never the process. They post themselves meditating, sipping chlorophyll water, and writing Dear Universe letters, but skip over the part where they were like sobbing in the shower for 2 weeks straight. I think a lot of social media is doing this unintentionally, though, for the most part. I mean, did we think the term people show their best self on social media? That concept only goes for morning sunrise selfies and perfectly plated dishes? No, it goes for everything. People tend to show up after the storm and once they've started their upward climb. I mean, can you blame them though? Like when I'm waist deep in the thick of life, I'm not necessarily picking up my camera and pressing record, i.e. why it took so long to come back for season 2. But yeah, I took a picture crying one time, and that confirmed to me all breakdowns need to be off camera. Seriously. Peace is not a trophy. It's like a glass egg you got to protect 24/7. Your glass egg, it's you. That you own. No one else is accountable for it besides you. It's yours. Your job to protect, to nurture, to grow, and develop. Doesn't matter what external circumstances or events arise, it's solely on you to keep it safe and even provide repairs in the unfortunate event of breakage. And when it breaks, good luck finding all the pieces under the bed of your own rage. I've told people I'm protecting my peace and then spent 3 hours ruminating, plotting, pacing, obsessing, and rehearsing what I should have said or what I need to do. That's not peace. That's a temporary hold on chaos because I'm going to always circle back. That's more time being stressed and in that stretched rubber band state that I'm trying to recover quickly from, right? Here's where I lie to myself and say I'm protecting my peace by not crashing out or addressing or avoiding or ignoring or saying not now. But if I'm still setting fire to the rain in my head, then great heavens, how in the hell is that peace? Yeah, it's not a prize. It's a delicate balance. It's a discipline, and most of us, we're still in training. So now you have to stop and ask yourself, am I healing or am I just hiding? Because sometimes it's both. Here's the thing. Healing has turned into an aesthetic. Candles, clean counters, sunlight hitting the journal just right. We've made it a brand. When I think healing, I think silence, meditation, a clear mind. And don't get me wrong, that can be powerful. But for me, healing was avoidance a lot of times. Protecting my peace was avoidance a lot of times. Not talking about how my brother's addiction ripples through my life. Not talking about how much it affects me regularly. I call that healing, but it was just hiding. I look back and even now and I'm like, why? Why did I feel the need to avoid speaking on that or addressing that pain head on? I mean, anyone who has to have a reunion with their sibling at a random gas station, visibly seeing how drugs have completely taken control of them, and the person staring at you is a sort of a stranger that you know so well. I mean, that would take a toll on anyone, right? Meaning there was never a reason to not address that hurt or to speak about it. I don't even have the space to deal with that right now. That's one of my comeback, please, not now. We don't have time for this moments. But I'm not negating or hiding from the fact of how I feel and experiencing that. And look, sometimes hiding is necessary, right? Sometimes you got to retreat, come back. But if you stay there too long, you start making silence become progress. And then you start mistaking silence for progress. You start believing not mentioning it is the same as I'm over it. Then you log on to social media and see everyone else healing too. Except now it's become a game of who can be the most enlightened. Everyone dropping therapy terms like they got a psych degree, gaslight, trauma bond, manipulation. It's like the buzzwords lost their weight. That's all we say nowadays. And I'm scared that if we keep treating these words like hashtags, when real gaslighting happens, when real trauma bonds happen, people won't even take it seriously anymore or even know how. And sometimes that shit is spot on. Sometimes we're right, but sometimes that's the problem. We're confused healing with escaping. We've confused language with actual work. And sometimes we're just hiding behind a self-help quote instead of actually facing the fight. Don't get me started on what gym therapy is doing to society because I will. Just not today. You have to find your own balance. More importantly, you have to learn your patterns and routines so that that red light goes off in your mind if you need to pivot because you're holding on to something for too long. It's actually quite chaotic. But chaotic honesty might be the realest place, though. You know, okay, so you know who made me start thinking about peace in a different way? SZA. Her songwriting is a whole damn storm, right? It's messy, it's petty, it's regretful, it's self-aware, delusional, but brutally honest. And she puts it all on the table without apologizing for how ugly it might sound. And to me, that's peace. Peace isn't always the soft-spoken, filtered, Zen Instagram quote energy. Sometimes peace is speaking your truth fully, even if you know it'll get picked apart. She'll tell you, I might be toxic. I might be in love with a ghost. I might be the problem. I might not change. And never once does she dress it up to make it more palatable for us. And that level of self-trust, to be able to admit your inner mess to the world without filtering it through respectability or fear of judgment. Yeah, that's the kind of peace I'm still chasing. It's not clean. It's not curated. It's not healed, trademark in the social media sense, but it is real. It is real. You know, like SZA's like one of my top 5 artists who I listen to on a daily basis. And she's been there for years, actually. But I mean, even her honesty sometimes is so real. I be having to skip over certain lyrics when I sing along. Like, I get it. I mean, but you know, power of the tongue, power of the tongue. Not too much of my birthday twin. Scorpios just know how to be. We don't know how to be surface level. It's either complete silence or we're going to take it there. But I think sometimes we mistake peace for detachment. Like, you're only peaceful if you're unbothered, if you don't react, if you're not loud or passionate or emotional. But peace can exist within that storm. Sometimes peace is just, yeah, I'm mad, I'm hurt, I'm not okay, but I'm not going to let it take me out the game. And I think that's where, like, SZA and people like her got it right. There's peace in admitting the mess before you fix it. And then you got the other side of all of this, when artists or public figures like cancel events or go ghost for their peace. The world either supports it or they spin it. Like when Summer Walker or Frank Ocean take a step back from the spotlight, everybody got something to say. She's being unprofessional. He's wasting people's times. You know, they should have known better. They signed up for this. But what if that was the peaceful choice for them? What if you're not supposed to perform for the public while you're bleeding inside? Sometimes the most peaceful thing you can do is let people down in order to stand up for yourself. I don't know. Do that with everybody besides my concerts. I mean, I get it. Sheesh. I saw Kendrick and SZA actually in June, and my date was deep into the tour. And I was living on a hope and a prayer that SZA wouldn't burn her social battery out before the show and cancel it, because that happens. And who can you blame? And when you find them, what will that fix? You know, sometimes peace looks like canceling the show and saving your own life. Like sitting your ass down when you said you would, not pushing through just to keep up appearances. It's like saying, I'm not coming, without over explaining when you need to. Like removing yourself mid-argument and choosing silence over performing clarity for somebody who don't even deserve access to your inner peace in the first place. Then, if peace feels suspicious, that's a trauma response. Stay with me now. So then what about the internal battle and green red flags that start appearing, right? Like, you ever get that feeling when things are finally like quiet and your first thought isn't relief, it's paranoia? Humans crave misery. They do. Man, I'm telling you, that's my big idea. Humans crave misery. Like, shit's been too peaceful lately. Something's about to hit. Yeah, that. The feeling of impending doom. It's like practicing in the off season, except you don't have a field or a court or a ball or anyone else playing with you. You just close your eyes and imagine yourself playing. And somehow you end up more tired, mentally drained, and exhausted than you would be during the actual season. I used to think I was just being cautious, but actually, I used to have a literal thought process that I was not meant to be happy, to experience joy. So I just never allowed myself to fully experience those emotions, especially as an adult, in their full capacity, because I feared and believed that it would cause something bad to happen. Craziest shit I know, but I'm telling you the truth. But then I confused coincidence and fate. Like I was going to run over that screw and get a flat tire regardless of if I got the promotion or not. It's like every time something bad happened, I immediately thought about the last time I was happy or excited or just mentally good or just carefree. And I'm like, that's why. I was too happy. Life was going too well. It's not meant for you. Come back. Misery. And that's a misery in its own right because I'm just a master pessimist. So I wasn't being cautious. I was flat out lying to myself, right? My nervous system was bracing for impact because when you've been through enough chaos, peace feels like a setup. Like the silence in the air before you hear the freight train that eventually reveals itself as a tornado. Living life in that headspace is taxing. That's why I don't remember much about my life experiences. Well, the positive ones, at least. It's like your body don't trust the silence. Like stillness is too foreign, too unfamiliar, too dangerous. I can admit it now. Anytime I got close to peace, I started anticipating, embracing for the next round of chaos. Like clockwork, but look at life. Can you blame me? Can you blame you? And that's the wild part. It's not that the chaos was better. It's that the chaos was familiar. Familiarity breeds contempt, right? It gave me something to solve, something to stay busy with, something to feel. So I had to train myself to stop mistaking calm for complacency. To stop treating my peace like a temporary luxury that might get snatched from me. Because that's not peace. That's survival mode with a lavender scented candle. This time around, I'm working to be different. I'm not trying to pretend the storm won't come again. I'm just learning to trust myself to handle it when it does. Because if I can believe in the chaos that strongly, why can't I start believing in my own resilience too? I'm not trying to live waiting for shit to go left. I'm trying to live ready, but peaceful at the same time. And I'm still navigating that in its full capacity, but I'm far from where I started because I don't want to keep reacting to life like it's going to hurt me. But I want to respond to life like I've already healed enough and been through enough to stay grounded through it. So the harsh truth, looking back and taking inventory, I caused so much of my own personal agony by not being honest about what my experience truly was, even to myself. Everybody loves to say, I'm protecting my peace, but what does that actually look like in practice? Like in the moment to actually apply to real life scenarios. Because for me, peace isn't a phase or a phrase I throw around when I don't want to talk. It's a whole system that I'm now committing to. Do not disturb during meditation, right? During prayer, during creative hours, during any time my mind is trying to come back to center. Like I told my therapist, well, what if an emergency or something happens when I'm doing something for myself, always feeling selfish for something. She so quickly said, you are not 911, a first responder or a hospital. Not verbatim like that, but that was the message. It was very short, very blunt. I just laughed like hard. Like I just really laughed because, yeah, you know what? Hell yeah. Actually, you can figure it out. I'm doing me respectfully. So I'm sorry to hear that. or congratulations, whichever one applies. But I stopped going to places that made me feel some type of way last time I was there. I started taking note of how I felt after being around certain people. And if I felt drained or on edge or just like I just didn't enjoy it, that was my last visit. Especially this year, I've had a lot of last visits, a lot of last times. I'm not waiting on a blow up to set a boundary. I'm listening to my body and my mind after the fact and during. Peace for me is a daily maintenance, not a random Sunday reset like social media likes to paint it. I journal every day. I meditate. I go to the gym. I walk 30 minutes daily and strength train 3 to 4 times a week. I go to therapy. I do self-care. And none of that is aesthetic. It may look it, but it's not. It's necessary. Because if I don't put that energy into myself, I'm going to be bleeding out onto people who never cut me. But peace takes work. It's not attractive, especially at first. It's not just log off and take a walk. It's a daily fight to keep your sanity in a world that profits off your distraction. There's a quote, James Baldwin actually, that I like to use with this, and it's something along the lines of like, not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. Peace isn't lying to yourself. Peace is self-honesty and accountability, and the reward is alignment. That's the prize. The mountain of peace and alignment is one I'm actively climbing, because I won't sit here like I do in every episode, but I'm not going to sit here and act like I've mastered anything. I'm still working in progress. But I won't sit here and act like I've mastered the peace thing. It's arguably one of the hardest challenges in my mental health journey for me, because I'm a very passionate person about everything. So I had to dissociate turning off my emotional processor with protecting peace. Because I used to feel like I couldn't allow myself to care at all about anything in order to have peace. And that's why I never got there. I'm not floating on air or walking around unbothered with my chakras aligned and my diet perfect. I'm still figuring out the recipe. I'm still trying to balance the flavors between anger, hurt, and patience. I've got moments where, I'm at peace, and moments where I'm ready to blow up everything, because I know peace isn't the absence of emotion now. That's something I'm proud to have learned. I know it's not numbness. I know it's not being above it all. I think peace is having a center, as we've kind of like talked about this entire season, that center, and learning how to come back to it quicker each time life tries to pull you away. I'm still doing a lot of work around that. I'm still forgiving people who never apologized. I'm still forgiving myself for the unhealthy patterns I developed. I'm still unlearning the habits that made me feel safe in chaos. I'm still rebuilding my trust in the quiet, because I was conditioned to feel like most alive when things were loud and on fire. That's how I learned to perform. But this time, like, I'm trying my hardest, and it's a goal to just not self-sabotage when things feel stable. I'm not going to shrink back into the chaos just because peace feels foreign. Not this time. Like, I gonna keep showing up for myself. Like, we got to keep climbing. And even if like we stumble, even if we break the glass egg sometimes, like, we just got to keep patching it back together, because peace isn't the Nobel Prize. Peace is the choice you make every single day. So before you go back to scrolling or spinning or spiraling, I want to ask you something. What does protecting your peace actually look like in real life? Not the quote you reposted or the affirmation you saved to your phone. I'm talking about your daily, messy, human version. Do you have a system? Do you even feel safe enough to create one yet? And if you don't, I'm not judging you. I'm just saying start small, because peace isn't a grand announcement. Sometimes it's just one decision to choose you today, even if nobody else understands it. You don't owe anyone an explanation for how you stay sane You just owe it to yourself to try. Okay, I'm done. Thank you for jumping in the deep end with me on this week's episode. We'll talk again next week. But in the meantime, as always, take care of you. It's the most important thing to do.